Did you know that around 8% men are colorblind? That's honestly quite a lot. That's enough that if you're making a game, you really should be considering how it looks for colorblind people. And the good thing is, usually that's not a super hard thing to do. It just requires you to be a little more thoughtful in the color schemes you're using in your game. So here's an example. I recently took my game to PAX, and in that build, I had one new level that I hadn't shown to many people before. A sewer level, by the way. Something I noticed was that a small handful of people who played this level at my booth would immediately jump into the water at the start of the level. This didn't make a lot of sense to me, because as I see it, this is obviously a hazard. I didn't know what was happening at the time, but I think I might have worked out what the problem was. A few days after PAX, when I was back home in Brisbane, I was talking to my friend Josh, who is colorblind. We were discussing games accessibility in terms of colorblindness. He showed me this app that you can use to see the world as colorblind people do. A bit later, I had the thought to look at my sewer level through this app, and suddenly it makes a lot of sense why some people were jumping into the water. Because the water and the floor have very similar saturation and value, and the only real difference in them is that one is red and one is green, they look fairly similar if you're colorblind, and could be misinterpreted as being part of the same structure. And the solution to this was actually pretty simple. I just made the water a really bright green. And the great thing about that is it feels like a better aesthetic choice anyway. Because I'm going for this really 90s heavy aesthetic, and what's more 90s than a sewer that's glowing green? It's like something straight out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And even if you do have perfect vision, this choice makes the level more readable for everyone, which is a good thing. There really are two big takeaways here. The first is that if you have any elements that you really need the player to distinguish between, make sure you're not using only hue to distinguish between them. Also rely on making them different levels of brightness and saturation. That was something I've normally been pretty good with, but I definitely slipped up in regards to this level. And the second thing is, and this is super important, you have to wishlist Latest Skater on Steam. Like, I would really appreciate it if you wishlisted Latest Skater on Steam.